the Driveway Podcast.
Tres, cuatro, cinco,
Welcome
seis.
back to the Driveway. We are officially at episode 17. We've made it to back-to-back weeks for the first time in a while. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a little bit of NBA draft. Welcome Caleb Wilson. Welcome Dalen Swain. And then we're going to talk a little bit of World Cup. You know, some Messi, Ronaldo, some Mbappe. Go through kind of the games going on to the next stage as well. So let's hit it. Let's start off with a little bit of the NBA draft. I have the top 10 written here. I don't know if you want me to go through the top 10 because both of us watched it. I don't know if there's any surprises. Things didn't feel too crazy going into the first round. Bulls, again, got Caleb Wilson. Very happy about that. Keaton Wagler was a bit, some people say stretch at 5, but we both knew that the Clippers were likely going to take him at 5. And then Milwaukee took their first pick after the recent trades. They went ahead and took Braden Burries out of Arizona at number 10. Danny, how did you enjoy the draft, and were you celebrating?
Yeah, I was really excited. The Bulls did a lot of what I wanted them to do. I was texting you. I did want a center, but I thought it was interesting. Other than Adai Mara, a lot of the centers had fallen quite a bit. Henry Visar almost didn't get drafted. Yeah. I was happy with Dalen Swain. I watched that Texas team a lot, just because it's fucking Texas and the overexposure. But Dalen Swain, he's a solid player, and I think I've been getting myself hyped for Caleb Wilson for the last couple months now.
100%. Yeah, he's been on the radar for definitely more than a month. Watched him every day.
Yeah, and I mean, I was watching him a lot because I fancy North Carolina basketball. I watched a ton of North Carolina basketball through the season. I think I might have talked about that in our March Madness. If you want to go back and check out our March Madness specials, I talked about when he got hurt, North Carolina just, they fell apart. Like
shriveled down. Yeah. He was that identity. 100%.
I truly think they win that game against VCU. They don't blow that lead if he's not hurt because they just didn't have a guy to put the ball. They had no one to hold the ball. So yeah, I was excited about it. But this was the first year. I've heard a couple people talking about it. This was really the first draft experience that I've had where like just about every mock draft was almost 100% correct.
100%, yeah. And there was against stretches like Keaton Wagler, or who was Atlanta going to take when going with Kingston Flemings. It was pretty spot on the nose. I was one of those people very late at last minute where I was like, okay, I think Darren Peterson might have a chance here to go number 1. But that changed quickly. The entire media broadcast was immediately talking about AJ the entire first half of the draft, so I immediately knew that that's kind of just, I think the entire NBA views it that way, that he's going number 1. So I started believing at that point. Darius Acuff did fall, but I will say, I think he's going to be a great fit in Sacramento. I think he's actually what Sacramento needs. And for those Kings fans who are pretty upset about falling this far in the draft, you have to be pretty stoked about landing Darius Acuff. I think that's a pretty good piece to start, building something around.
That was the first one where they kind of played their hands, and they kind of revealed the secret to us because everyone started putting money on Michael Brown to jump because apparently some guy in the Kings front office is friends with Darius Acuff's dad or some shit like that. There was some type of connection there that the Kings basically said our 1-1 is Darius Acuff. He's coming to our team. I forgot what it was. Or he was the coach. I'll have to look that up. I'll fact check it. But they basically, there was a report that said Acuff to the Kings was pretty much a done deal. So it kind of made you know that Michael Brown, which I think is the better pick. I mean, Michael Brown kind of fell off a little bit at Louisville. He kind of played a little inconsistent, but he was the clear-cut like draft prospect before everything started taking off. He's probably the best pure scorer, and that's saying a lot because Darius Acuff, Darren Peterson, but Michael Brown's probably, in terms of being like a talented scorer, he's probably one of the best pure scorers in the draft.
Yeah, we saw a lot of pure scorers from this draft. I mean, definitely each of these players in the top 10 definitely has like their own impact on the offensive side, and you can see that offense is a quality of theirs as well as defense. Caleb stands out definitely on the defensive side. That's kind of why I was so excited about his presence landing to us at number 4. We have a pretty tall roster right now, the Bulls. Everyone is over 6 foot in the starting lineup. Not just over 6 foot. Everyone's like 6'6" to 6'12" or 6'11", 7 foot.
Sure.
They're looking good. Like I like the way they look. Tell me a little bit about number 9 Dallas Mavericks. Morris Johnson Jr., Chicago kid, grew up in the Chicago basketball system. A lot of people saying that he's actually not that good, and maybe he wasn't the best player on that Michigan squad, but the coach does it. The coach gets his guy.
Yeah, I think we talked about this during the NFL draft. I'm a big fan of when it comes to getting a player. The expectation that you're going to get a Hall of Famer every pick, or an All-Star player, it's just not feasible. What it comes down to is that you go to a place where they actually have something in the books and the plan for you. Morez Johnson Jr. playing with his coach that he just won a championship with. What that says to me is Morez is going to get to play quite a bit, and he's going to get a lot of exposure, and he's going to get a lot of chances because he got drafted with by a team that has something in mind for him. Is he good? That'll wait to be seen. You know, I've seen a lot of guys get drafted that are supposed to be the next Michael Jordan, and then they're dog shit 5 years in. We realize
we're used to that now.
You know, there's a ton of guys, or they can't play defense, or there's some type of major hole in his game. I think with Dusty May, I'm a little interested to see how that works with him going into the pro league, you know, the pro circuit. But I think Morez will do just fine. I don't think he's going to be some type of top tier. If you're thinking he's going to be like the next best center in the league, he could be. I don't think he's that. I think max ceiling, he comes in and he gives you a really solid defensive foundation. But he's again, they drafted him with some type of intention to play him, and that's what I like to see, because I do not like to see a really talented kid, and I'll just say the guy who got drafted ahead of him, or drafted 2 spots behind him, Yaxel Lendenberg. I have no confidence that the Golden State Warriors know what the fuck they're doing with Yaxel Lendenberg.
He's a bit of an older player. Everyone knows he's 24. If that age is going to,
he's 37 years old. He's 37 years old. He's 37 years old. I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's like,
what the
fuck
he's
are
an
we
older
doing?
guy. So I mean, well, they do need win now players, but even I was kind of under. I don't know. I didn't think he played that well throughout most games in the finals, and leading up to it as well. I wasn't impressed with the player he was. I didn't think he was the best player on this team.
No,
I see what you're.
He's got D&3. He's got a D&3 type of game that he can adapt to. But my issue with the Warriors is how many times we saw this with Wiseman. We saw this. How many times the Warriors are going to try to draft a power forward or center and it just not fucking work? I mean, the Warriors have shown me that since Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, they clearly don't know how to develop talent. And everyone's probably sitting around saying Podziemski. But, I mean, it's kind of hard to fuck up a white guy who does one thing well. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a high defensive effort guard who backs up Stephen Curry. That's probably the easiest job in the fucking NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go and get yourself T.J. McConnell, Braden Smith. Pick your fucking white guy. They could go and do the same shit Podziemski's doing. I'm not shitting on Podziemski. I'm just saying if he left Golden State, he's not averaging 25
He's
points
replaceable. Like, his talent level, especially at backup to Stephen Curry. Each team is preparing to play Stephen Curry the same, so all you have to do is take similar shots to what Steph takes, and that's what he does. What he does. Like, it's pretty easy, especially with that game plan. They didn't fix him up he's not like a special type of player, Podziemski, but I see where you're coming from. Like, his identity is pretty easy to replace.
Yeah, and I mean, I just another couple guys that I wanted to shit on. The Milwaukee Bucks. Like,
okay, go into it.
Can I go off?
We have some things to talk about with Milwaukee.
Can I go off a little bit here, Dejo?
Sure.
I mean, we'll get to the trade point, but, you know, you just traded your generational offensive superstar in Giannis, the guy who brought you a championship, and you go and you get Nate Ament.
Yeah.
A guy who can't play offense if it fucking kicked him in the dick, and was really just a defensive wing, and at best is a D&3 wing. That's the guy you choose to get. And, like, they had a chance at 10 to get someone better. I don't hate Braden Burries. I'm sure Braden Burries with the right, he's going to get a chance to play. I don't think he's going to be that good. I don't. He's a little bit undersized, and he kind of fits in this weird mold of like guard and forward, like on the wing. He's kind of an undersized wing. I don't know, man. And not to mention, we know this as a Bulls fans. Arizona's kind of put out some fucking shitty products.
Yeah. They put out players that
Terry.
take a very long time to develop.
Yeah,
Like
Dalen
6,
Terry.
7 years, yeah.
Well, and then
DeAndre
look at
Ayton, and Luka, or not Luka, fucking Laurie. Like, these players take a minute to develop. DeAndre Ayton, I think, had his prime pretty early, maybe, but
Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin didn't have a real chance until like his 4th year. But let's get into it. I mean, first, let me throw out 2 facts, and then we're gonna get into the Giannis trade. So 2 facts just to hear from the NBA draft. 2 things I found pretty interesting. This is the second year ever of back-to-back of the top 5 picks being all freshmen, which is definitely gonna be something I see more and more in the future because a lot of these guys are having the opportunity to go and make more NBA money. And then also, this was the first NBA draft since 2021 to have all 60 selections. The previous 5 drafts were reduced because many teams forfeited second-round picks due to free agency violations. So that's another interesting thing. So there's finally 60 guys that got the chance to come to the NBA. Good for that. I mean, we have seen that. I noticed that didn't really happen much before the 20s, where it's like people were kind of free agency, tampering, right? Some tampering violations, stuff like that, allegations as well. That stuff was very interesting. Just closing it on the draft. Very excited. Giannis officially goes to the Miami Heat. It was between him going to the Heat and him going to the Celtics, which I personally think the Celtics would have made a better championship roster, but they didn't have the better offer. Now, the Bucks definitely got the better offer. I think the Bucks won this trade 1,000,000%. Picks aside, right, Brandon Berries and Nate Iments, we can kind of see what they end up being. Let's say this is before the draft even happened, how the excitement lit up, but I'm happy for the Bucks on this trade. I don't like the Bucks. I don't want them to be good. But this is a trade that I would be happy as fuck as a Bucks fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been happy. The other one more thing I wanted to point out. I don't know. Maybe you can correct me. I wanted to bounce this off of you. This was the first time. This also was the first time when they started taking the international developmental products in the second round that they were marketing what schools they were going to be playing for.
Yeah.
Like that French guy Narcisse Negoy. He's playing for Auburn, and then there was some German guy that's going to be playing for Gonzaga. And that these teams that drafted them are going to keep their rights and stuff. That's the first time I've heard them market that.
Are you a fan of that? What do you think that does?
I like that. I like that. Baseball does that. Yeah, baseball does that. Quite frankly, I would rather. I think we talked about this. I keep saying this. We talked about this on past episodes, but we were talking about like if the Bulls drafted Noah and instead of stashing him or doing something, they could let him play a season at U of I. Like I'm a fan of that. I think it works out. Doesn't take away from the game. I'd rather them do that than them play in Israel or Spain or wherever the fuck they're stashing these guys. In the G League, G League's dog shit.
G League's losing stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather see them play a little bit of high pressure games when it comes to the college level. I thought it was good. But back to the Giannis trade, we can bounce around on that. But I thought it was good because I'm used to that with baseball. Baseball and hockey do that quite a bit. Like hockey will draft a kid that's like 17 years old, and then they'll send him to like half the Blackhawks prospects that they've been talking about. They're playing for Michigan. They're playing for Michigan and Boston College. So it's regular in other sports. I think that the NBA just started doing it with NIL. They kind of didn't have a choice. I hope the Bucks do not stop here. Commit to being bad. Do not take these guys and try to be good with them. What I think they should do is you just got Nate Ament. I think it's going to take a while for Nate Ament and Brandon Burries to develop and become the players you want them to be. Man, you're not going to win a championship with Tyler Hero Kello where Jamie Jaquez and Kasparis Jakučionis. Look, Casper, you still might have something with Kasparis. He didn't get to play a whole lot. He really didn't fit that Miami Heat mold. So maybe the Bucks could find something with him that Miami. He doesn't really have any trade value, so it doesn't really hurt playing him. But I would play the fuck out of. I would trade Jamie Jaquez. I would trade Kel'el Ware, and I would trade Tyler Hero. I would try to move those guys.
Yeah, it's kind of a good point. I think because what they're going to get out of them is just another 1 or 2 year player that isn't going to be around for our next rebuild. If they want to go ahead, Hamey might be worth a first round pick. You don't know, like a late first round pick for the Lakers or something. Like I think that is doable for them. Yeah, I Tyler Hero, I was kind of saying as well, where I think Tyler Hero is a hometown talent. They'll probably keep him because he's going to sell tickets, but he's also a player I'd be shopping around a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to credit Ryan Russillo who said this. Are you going to pay Tyler Hero the money he wants? He wants like Luka money. I don't think you do that, especially if you're not like 100% a good team yet, or you think you're going to be competing. I don't think Tyler Hero's going to get you there.
He's very much like a Zach LaVine. If you invested him, you're going to pay a lot, and you're going to get a player that can score, but he has no absolute talent in any big games. Like you can't trust him.
And I think for a player like Kel'el Ware, who's just a big long guy, the market is as hot. The market is as hot as it can be for these types of guys that can help you down low, because now you got Wemby getting everyone scared. Everyone's worried. How are we going to stop Wemby? Like the market is as high as it has been ever for some type of big guy with length. If you were to shop Kel'el Ware, I think the Bucks could get someone to overpay for him. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, we said the Lakers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers overpaid for a guy like him because they need him.
Yeah, that's an investment. It's like, hey, we're building around Luka.
And then Jamie Jaquez. I mean, look, I'm a Jaquez guy. We all know that. I'm a Gabby Jaquez guy. I bought into Gabby. She's my she's the next face of the Chicago Sky.
First round pick for Chicago Sky, playing really well. Out for a little bit with an ankle injury, but then came back. Averaging 10 points a game. She's looking good.
Yeah, we're rebuilding. You know, we're rebuilding. So let her sit. Let her keep developing. She looks really good. She looks like the future. I would trade Jamie Jaquez because I don't think Jamie's that good. I think Jamie was a guy who fell into the right system. Miami knows how to play guys like fucking Jamie Jaquez. He is a Miami Heat type of guy. Jamie Jaquez is not a Milwaukee Bucks guy. I don't think the system knows how to play him. I don't think Taylor Jenkins knows how to play him. I think he's not going to be that good. I think what you might run into an issue with is with the guy who's currently on the Spurs. Who was that guy that was around for a while that has the weird beard and the long hair? That was really good for a bunch of bad teams. Big man,
White
power
guy?
forward, center. White guy. Former Gonzaga player. Oh, that name will come to me.
Not Morrison?
No, not Morrison. His name will come to me. Fuck. He's been on like every rebuild.
Kelly Olynyk?
Kelly Olynyk, yeah.
Kelly Olynyk, dude. Knows ball.
Yeah.
Knows ball.
Yeah, there you go. Kelly Olynyk. So,
go.
like, Kelly Olynyk, you're going to have an issue. I think Jamie Jaquez is much more like a Kelly Olynyk who bounces around from bad teams now that he's not a Miami Heat than anything. And
That's
I think
really
right
good. That's
now...
actually a great comparison, by the way. Like, I will give it to you.
Thank you.
That feels very, very much on the nose. Yeah.
Thank you. I think undersized guy who plays big, but the Heat played him at small forward. You know, he played center in fucking college and power forward. He's a great player. I'm not taking anything away from Jamie, but I actually went and saw him play when he was at UCLA. When I went to LA to see your brother on a work trip, I went to UCLA. It felt like I was driving to Afghanistan. Matt Barnes tried to fight me. Matt Barnes legit tried to fight me. But I would trade him now because coming out of Miami, his stock is a lot higher. And the last thing you want to do is go in and be really fucking bad. Like the last thing you do is you don't want to go into this season and be really fucking bad. Jamie puts up 9 or 10 points a game and you've completely crushed his stock. Like that's the last thing you want to do. Right now his stock is high where you might be able to move him for 2 seconds. Something like that. But I would keep moving him. I would keep moving. I'd do what the Bulls are doing. I would just be fluid. You know, if I could move somebody, I will. I wouldn't sit here and think that Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jamie Jaquez, Kasparis, Giacchionis our 2 draft picks, Miles Turner and who's the other
Ryan Rollins.
Ryan Rollins, Kyle Kuzma, like they're gonna win us a championship.
And you can't expect absolutely much from that. Like, I mean, playing whatever here and there, but I want to touch on one more thing before we head on to the Julius Randle trade, which was also the Bulls were involved. The last thing I want to talk about, let's talk about a little bit about the Heat here. So the Heat aren't that deep. Now, when you have the ability to make this trade, you do it. Celtics missed out. I think Celtics would have been a great option, especially with their thick roster. But the Heat are trying to build something here. Tell me, how long do you think until the Heat actually figure it out to a place where they could be potentially dangerous with this lineup?
The Heat have been doing this my entire life. Look, Mario Chalmers has a couple rings because of the Heat doing shit like this. Mario Chalmers is not a starter on any fucking NBA team with a balanced roster. Mario Chalmers is a starter on a team that has Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. Because, not shitting on Mario Chalmers, he's just not that good of a player. And as soon as they broke up the big three, where the fuck did Mario Chalmers go? He was gone. I think that the Heat will figure it out. I think if they got to play me at point guard, they're going to try to figure. They're just going to be playing. They'll play a bunch of guys. Maybe they'll bring back a fucking 39-year-old point guard like a Mike Conley,
Ricky Rubio,
Ricky Rubio. They're going to they'll figure it out. Like they'll work it out, dude. I could definitely see Chris Paul.
That was my first thought. I know that's more of a dream. That's more of just. It would be cool to see him come back and play with those two guys. I think he would be really helpful.
I think that they'll probably, what's more likely going to happen, they'll probably play out a bunch of randos, a bunch of draft picks. Hold on, wait, what the fuck? Hey, I'm talking sports. Get out of here. My fucking dog's trying to steal shit. He's trying to steal Pokemon cards.
I'm glad it's your dog and not someone else. Not a person.
Oh, yeah. Not a person.
Hey,
no,
get out of here.
Yeah, he's sneaking
Someone's
in my room.
Out of the closet.
No,
get out.
No, I think the Heat will be just fine.
Yeah.
And I say that not to just try to be optimistic, but like I said, my whole entire life, from when they brought in Shaq to Alonzo Mourning, like, this is just what the Heat do. Do I think they're going to win a championship? No, because I don't think the Heat are the best team in the NBA. Like, I think that the Heat have a uphill battle going even with Bam and Giannis, and we were talking about that. There's just too many good teams in the league right now, and when I say too many good teams, I just mean the New York Knicks right now and the San Antonio Spurs.
And they're all young too. Like, these teams are pretty young, and they're pretty set on contract wise. Like the Knicks, you can definitely consider this team's going to be around for 3 more years because all these guys are locked up under contract. They're going to want to keep playing for the city. These teams are pretty good in terms of like depth, and they're going to be around. I saw a picture of Jokic. He looks fucking thin, so like people, no one knows what he's up to. You might be on the Zempic, but teams are looking good.
The Heat. The Heat drafted, by the way, a guy that I really fucking like. They drafted Ryan Conwell from Louisville, who he kind of carried that Louisville team when Michael Brown got hurt. And Michael Brown kind of had an on and off season with injuries. He's a deep 3-point shooter. He's a solid guard. He's not going to come in and be any type of like all-star. But we were talking about Mario Chalmers types of players where you need some type of small guard that's going to knock down a 3. Ryan Conwell could fit that bill for them very well, very well. So I mean, the Heat are going to find a way.
They certainly will. They always have. They always have in our life, right? Like
my one question,
maybe Jimmy Butler's team, but never mind. Go ahead.
My one question to you, because we were talking about it in the text message: who the fuck's going to give Norman Powell the money he's asking for?
Somebody. Because that's the thing. Like, he wasn't all-star. He's a great 3-point shooter. That's the one thing that he has that like teams really fucking want to finish. Like when you finish, when you win an NBA season, you usually have a pretty good overpaid 3-point shooter on that team. He's gonna be that guy. I could see not the Hornets. I could see a team like the Rockets, the Nuggets, like a team that just needs another guy to be like, hey, Jokic is gonna drive. You just want to be open. He's gonna get paid.
The Rockets just drafted Bruce Thornton, and if you guys don't know Bruce Thornton, if y'all thought Jameer Nelson was thick, Bruce Thornton's fucking thick.
Jameer Nelson.
dude. Like go and look at and Raymond. He's like Raymond Felton thick.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Borderline. I never use the F word here. We don't use the F word, but this fucking dog, man. I don't use the F word here, but Bruce Thornton's getting close.
Getting close.
He's getting close.
Stay tuned in case we use it in any future episodes. You let us know.
He's
you
a
gauge that.
He's a thick boy. He's gonna lose some weight.
We'll check in with you on that in a couple episodes. See if it's getting better form or worse.
Thank you.
Let's talk some Julius Randle trade, shall we? Because
there's
two more trades that happened aside from the draft that definitely kind of lit some eyes. So Julius Randle gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets. It's involved a three-team trade: Brooklyn Nets, Minnesota, and Chicago Bulls that were lucky enough to be involved after taking up an offer from Nick Claxton in return for cash considerations and Mo Gay, which was a G League player that we had. I think what happened is that Minnesota sent Randle to the Nets in exchange for the 28th overall pick, exchanging it for Brooklyn's 33rd overall pick, I should say. So it's pretty much just them releasing money, and then they paid Ayo Dosunmu right after. So congrats, Ayo. That's a player that I think, even if it's in a Chicago uniform, you got to congratulate him on getting that deal because he's definitely deserving. But Nick Claxton, I think, is going to be a very good addition to us for just the next 2 seasons. He is quite a bit of an expensive player, but us being the Bulls, we can afford it. We have about $30 million in cap space left. So I'm pretty excited about that move. That's something AK would have never done. That's not an AK kind of move. So I'm glad that finally it feels like we're on the better end of like a receiving deal. And just being involved. Like, it's just nice to have a GM that's involved in these discussions. So it's not another random team getting, a pretty good starting center. We didn't have a starting center at that point. So I'm happy with that trade. It just feels weird looking at a Bulls trade before the draft and being like, hey, we didn't get shafted. Like, this helps.
Yeah.
This helps us.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Bulls, like they did exactly what we wanted them, and that's being a third-party team that was going to take a bad contract. I honestly didn't think Nick Claxton's contract was terrible. Was it a little bit of an overpay? No. Is it a little bit of? Well, it's a little bit. I don't think he's worth the contract. Like I think he's young. I think he's a little overpaid. But at the same time, like the Bulls have more money than they have. They have so much fucking money on the books right now. Yeah. They could go and they could pay a guy like that. They've had a problem at center. They're adding a bunch of length now. And what did they not have? A fucking center. And what did they get? A quality center. Say what you want to say about Nick Claxton. He's an NBA level center. I mean, he's not a great scorer. He's not.
He's been a starter for multiple years too.
Multiple years, and he's been in the league for a while now. He's done it at the highest level consistently. If you told me coming into the season, hey, we're going to give you a center that's going to be 10 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, maybe depending on the season, he's up and down with his rebounds. He could get as high as 9 rebounds a game. I'd say bet, give me him. Give me that center, and that's Nick Claxton. And we didn't give up anything for him because of his contract. This was kind of a weird, like, is Julius Randle, is he the most underappreciated all-star in the NBA right now? I mean,
and it's hard to consider him even an all-star because he does play with a high tempo, but he's not the same player he was even 4 years ago. I like Julius Randle. Unfortunately, he's at that part of his career where he doesn't match any system because he's just he's kind of a ball hog. And
he's a
ball
hog,
from Anthony Edwards' hands, then usually that's when bad things started to happen for that team.
For sure, but like the one thing I kind of get annoyed with is just everywhere that Julius Randle has been, whenever that team's losing, they blame Julius Randle, they trade Julius Randle, and then they continue to lose. Now the Knicks were an outlier. But the Lakers blamed him for everything, and the Lakers suck. I know that they went on and won with LeBron and Anthony Davis in the COVID Cup, but I mean, I don't really consider that an NBA championship.
Yeah, Mickey.
Yeah, and then he got booted to the Knicks, and then he got booted to Minnesota. Now, if you want to talk about bullshit, and Julius Randle's kind of like the guy who dates girls and then gets dumped, and then the girls go on and find like their future husband.
Yeah, right after.
And he just stays single right after, because like if Minnesota wins the NBA championship next year, Julius Randle come to the Chicago Bulls. because we'll trade you and we'll play you a year and then trade you and then win a championship. Like that's, I'm seeing the pattern there. I hope he didn't sell his home in New York. He's only been in Minnesota like what, a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I that was what stood out to me, was just like, I feel like the guy's super underappreciated. I feel like yeah, he has some boneheaded plays, but like I don't believe that type of talk.
Yeah.
He balls, and you know what? Are we really going to believe that talk? Because literally before like last week, Karl Anthony Towns was a cancer to a team, and now he's the greatest center who ever lived. Like it just you know, I just don't I don't buy into that shit a whole lot, but yeah, I just kind of felt bad for Julius Randle, just because I've never seen a guy put up the numbers he does and then get traded like he's a six-man, you know.
Traded just like an asset.
He's Jamal
just like
Crawford.
an extra asset. And
yeah.
So Minnesota made another trade the day after, or at least 2 days after, because this was pre-draft. LaMelo Ball is officially a part of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Charlotte, I mean, it probably does feel weird for Charlotte because they grew a deep passion for this player. He's been on this team for a very long time, and they never were successful. Like, technically, they never had a successful year. I think he's been on the team for like 6 years. So he goes on. I think it's, in return, it is a 2031 first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 2 second-round picks in exchange for, I think it was Josh Green and LaMelo Ball. And then Naz Reid gets his way to Charlotte. Charlotte paid Kobe White, so now they have a kind of a new starting with Knipple, Naz Reid, and
Brandon
Kobe
Miller.
White, a kind of new 3 that they got going on there. But Brandon Miller. It's very interesting on both sides. I do feel bad for Naz Reid because at the end of the day, he was like a hometown hero in Minnesota. You know, people are getting his name tattooed. Like,
yeah, I don't feel bad for Naz Reid. I think he's gonna have a chance to win. Like, I think
he
where
was going to
he's
get
going,
starting minutes with no Julius Randle. He was going to be a starter.
Yeah, I understand he was going to be a starter in Minnesota. I think that they kind of knew what they were doing, because they said today that the Julius Randle trade is kind of an extension of what they were trying to do with LaMelo, because the T-Wolves were trying to get LaMelo bad. Yeah, look, he was a hometown hero. Everyone loved him. He's going to go, I think he's going to a better situation. First off, I can't imagine how nauseating it's going to be a fucking coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves with Ant and fucking LaMelo in the same locker room.
A lot of personalities.
A lot of personalities. And then you got Io, who's just like...
And Rudy Gobert.
Silent. Yeah. And Rudy Gobert.
Crazy room, locker room.
Yeah, for sure. I just... I love Naz Reid and the Hornets. Mm-hmm. I think the Hornets are doing... I think they're doing something right now that I haven't seen them do. They're trying to follow the Charlotte or the Oklahoma City model of being like contending as a small market. Con Knipple's a savage. He's a star player. Brandon Miller's great. Miles Bridges, great player. Beats his wife. I think... And then you go and you extend Kobe White. I think Charlotte could be a top 5 team in the East next year.
Yeah, if they really... I like Kobe White's potential being a point guard, finally having like a true point guard position in an open offense that has a lot of scores on it. So I'm pretty excited about that momentum for him. LaMelo Ball being in Minnesota, that's a little bit questionable. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough to beat the top 4 teams again. And we'll see. They're going to get a 3rd seed again. They're going to be above... one of these OKC, or they're going to be above the Nuggets. And again, come playoff time, they're going to have a big struggle because all they can rely on is Rudy Gobert. And they traded away Towns, they traded away Naz, and they're getting rid of size. When size is what kind of matters most right now in the West. I mean, OKC just got their Wemby stopper. They just got Mara. It's like, now you got to figure out how to kind of work against him, and he's going to be another potential player that's going to get 15 really strong minutes every time that he gets onto the court.
And then they're near the second apron, and this is the last year on Rudy Gobert's contract. So you're in a couple. I mean, Minnesota sports. What the fuck is going on in Minnesota sports?
It's got to happen at some point. You got to build a pretty good roster at some point.
Minnesota, the Minnesota Wild, did the same shit where they've loaded up on aging stars because they're trying to, they just won last season. They just won their first playoff series and they're trying to win a Stanley Cup for the first time. Minnesota Vikings, we've talked about them. Kyler Murray, they're trying to take advantage of their wide receiver. It was a weird week in NHL trades. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah,
the Florida Panthers have 10 fucking Olympians on their team. The
Blackhawks
I understand. Look, we could talk about that.
We don't have
another
to.
time.
I just wanted to,
yeah,
someone's got to say it. Someone had to say it.
I'm okay with them ditching the rebuild. I don't know. We could talk about that.
Back to ball. Yeah, back to ball. We'll discuss
let's back
puck
to basketball. We'll talk puck another day. Because I got to see what the Blackhawks are going to do.
Yeah.
I'm okay with ditching the rebuild if you bring in the right guys. If you bring in a bunch of dog shit guys, yeah, to be continued on that conversation.
You got to stick with it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're going to ditch the rebuild to bring in Savages around Connor Bedard, let's go. But if I don't see Savages in 3 weeks, yeah, to be continued. I liked your analysis there with them going small. What I think they're trying to do is I think that they're trying to go guard heavy like the Knicks, because the Knicks won a championship with 3 guards and did it with a rotation of 7 guys.
Yeah. Scores, all good scores.
I do not think that is the mold that you should be trying to recreate, because the Knicks were an outlier because they had these guys who've won championships together in college. They know what it takes to be a team, and you had a lot of unselfish people in that locker room willing to take a step back to let one guy be a hero. I don't think that's the mold you should be trying to do it. If you're the Timberwolves and you think that LaMelo, Io, and Anthony Richardson is gonna, did I say Anthony Richardson?
Anthony Richardson. Heard it. We can move on. Heard it.
Okay. And Ant are gonna. I'm my mind's blanking right now. If you are going to think you're going to win with 3 guards, it's just not the model. You're not. These guys did not play together at Villanova. They didn't grow up together. Yeah. They're not close friends. They're not willing to fuck up and say, "Hey, I'll score 4 points today." That's not what that team is. And quite frankly, LaMelo is not a serious guy. I hate to say it. We've talked about this. He's a child. He's a childish dude. He keeps getting into car accidents and shit. He's a Georgia linebacker. He cannot stay out of trouble. He's always been kind of a goofy, unserious guy. Mm-hmm. He was on that team for 6 years and they didn't improve. He was on that team forever and they never got good until they got a guy from Duke who had winning mentality instilled in him in Concanipple. Then they started winning, and a lot of that went to LaMelo. And don't get me wrong, LaMelo's a talented guy. He was not the reason the Hornets were winning. Mm-hmm. He was not let's be honest, the Hornets got back into contention because the Bulls blew it up. A lot of teams blew it up in front of them, and them and the Hawks snuck back in, and the Hornets still barely made the playoffs. So I don't think LaMelo was a winning mentality kind of guy. I just don't think it's look. Minnesota is going to be in a really tough spot if this doesn't work.
100%. They can't get out of it.
They can't get out of it. They have a bunch of untradeable contracts, and if Ant asks for a fucking trade, they're so fucked.
It's your fault, exactly. If Ant asks for a trade, this is exactly the reason why it's your fault, right?
Yes.
In this offseason,
yeah, it's a problem. Whereas what I like what the Hornets are doing, because okay, maybe the Hornets have some type of a similar year. Well, what they're doing is they're still bringing in competitive players. I think Naz Reid in this Hornets
Reid
system
is a winner. Yeah, he's a good player, 100%.
He's a winner, and I think we're going to see his numbers are going to get inflated. Yeah. I think he's their big man. So I think I could see him playing a lot more minutes, averaging 18 points a game, something along that line. He's a really talented player. Look, I think the Hornets are going to be just fine, and then they have a bunch of future assets. The whole pick swapping thing's confusing to me. I don't know why you do that.
Bulls
I don't know why.
As well. Yeah, I think that's
popular. I personally, I think Charlotte's banking on the fact that they can't keep this core together long, and they think that Minnesota's going to be absolute dog shit, and that they're going to
I would take that bet as well, man, to be honest, yeah.
And by 2030, the Minnesota's going to be winning 10 games a year, and Charlotte's going to get those and Charlotte's going to be doing. Look, Oklahoma City made a fucking franchise off of that, a dynasty off of that. They had the 12th and 14th pick this year, so it's like it could work out, man.
And those are some pretty good moves, I will say, from both sides. At least they're being aggressive and trying to become better. I don't like Minnesota's move, but what do you say we get into some footy? Let's switch from some handball to some footy, shall we? Because obviously we're balls deep into the third leg now of the World Cup soccer matches, going really, really swell. We were just talking about it a little bit beforehand. We have some kind of things to focus on how much we're overall enjoying the experience versus kind of just accepting what's given to us. But first, before I go into anything else, I wanted to go through the teams that have officially advanced, officially been knocked out, and are still potentially about to be knocked out. Because I just want to go through, because we made a list before, so I want to go through that. I took a photo of the list that we have, so just to see if we're right and wrong. Okay, so first to advance is Mexico. They're the Group A winner. We did have Mexico advancing. Next is South Africa, Group A runner-up. We did not have South Africa advancing. We had South Korea. That is officially an L from us. Next is Switzerland is the Group B winner. We did have Switzerland. And then Canada, we did not have Canada. We had Bosnia, which also passed, but Canada does look pretty good. I will give it to them. Brazil, also Group C winner. We did have Brazil. We did have Morocco coming up. United States as well. We did have Germany. We had Group E winner. France also. Norway, yes. Argentina, obviously. And then Colombia. We had Colombia coming out. Oh, no, we did not have Colombia. We did not. We had DR Congo and Uzbekistan. Really?
No way we had Uzbekistan and DR Congo.
I did that wrong. I might have.
Yeah, I think we had Portugal and Colombia. There's no way.
We're not that fucking stupid. we're trying to make a podcast? What the fuck are we doing here? Okay, yeah. No, okay, so that's okay.
Which DR Congo might come out.
Rep, you'll see the cover I have for the episode today. Obviously, most of you have already seen it. We do represent DR Congo on there because I've really been enthralled with the story of the standing man. That's been a very interesting story. Okay, knocked out teams. Knocked out, we have Czechia, Qatar, and Haiti. Haiti did play a wonderful match yesterday, so props to them on kind of the way they resemble themselves to their last game. Potentially out, we have Scotland, Turkey, Jordan, Iraq, Tunisia, Panama, Uzbekistan, and Curacao. Those are the teams that are officially out and potentially out. So after going through that list, now you can kind of get an idea in your mind of who's been an obvious choice and who's been a lucky choice and we're still kind of waiting on because there's games tonight. 9 p.m. for those of you. This probably is going to drop before the game. 9 p.m. Team USA plays Turkey. That is the last leg of our route here, and then we're not runner-ups. We are starters. We're going to play Bosnia in the round of 32. Danny, tell me a little bit kind of what you thought about this last round, and then tell me more about the next round that we're heading into here and what we should expect.
Yeah, I knowing that we were going to talk a little footy, I wrote down my MVPs of each group, if I could share that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Group A, I couldn't find one particular player, so I just said Mexican fans calling goaltenders homophobic slurs.
Sure. MVP.
They were the MVP. Quite frankly, the Mexican fans in general are the MVP of Group A. I watch a ton of Mexican soccer. We see them quite a bit because they're the U.S. They are not this good. They are a good team, but they are playing with the spirit of all of Mexico on them. They are rolling. So Mexican fans are the MVP of Group A. Mm-hmm. And also the aging stars of South Korea for not showing up are the MVP of Group A. I'll say for Group B, I put Jonathan David on Canada. This has already been a historic tournament for Canada. They're advancing. They've really shown. When have you seen a Canadian team be able to play up against a stacked team like Switzerland?
Yeah, right.
Like they just got a little bit more star power to them this year. Group C, I put Vinny Jr. Brazil's struggling, but Vinny Jr. has carried them. I think he's scored in every match so far.
Yeah.
So Group C, I'd say Vinny Jr. He's the catalyst of that team. Group D is where it gets a little shoddy. So I put Balogun for U.S. I think that game against Paraguay where he scored twice, that has set us up on a trajectory.
Holy.
Yeah, that's put us on a trajectory that we don't know where we're going right now. It's so exciting. He's giving us that hope. And he's been like kind of a star that we can look at in that striker role that I don't remember ever having. So Balogun, I would say Group F. Group F is where I've struggled with because Netherlands has won. Netherlands has rolled, but it's been kind of a team effort. Japan, they've played pretty well. Do you have anyone who stands out? You got a Netherlands jersey.
I was definitely going to choose Balogun as well. I watched mainly a lot of all the USA games, and he's looked really as a standout guy that I did not expect beforehand. You got your regulars. I mean, I've seen a lot of Messi highlights because he's obviously just one of the GOATs, and that's what a lot of people are looking at. Lamine Yamal kind of had a resurrection of his first bad game. He looked really good. There's a few players on Uruguay that also struck out to me. I can't remember their names, but I'm going to continue letting you carry on with the MVP calling here. I mean,
oh yeah. Well, I was just saying because like we talked about the Dutch team. Mm-hmm. Was there anyone on the Dutch team that stood out for you at all? On the Dutch team, I haven't. No one's really stood out in that group.
Yeah, honestly, the first two games they played, they were actually playing a little bit more scared. So there was no one sticking out to me, but then they had their third leg, and they looked pretty good.
I'll say the Japanese fans trying Texas barbecue for the first time for that group was the MVP of that.
That's
group.
A good one.
So you said a lot of really good names. I went Group H. I said Vozinha, the Cabo Verde goalie.
Good. Yeah, you know what? He much deserved. Yeah, much deserved.
They're going to be playing in a knockout game.
Yeah. In a place like that, and a 40-year-old goalie, that truly is like that's the reason why we watch this fucking sport, dude. It's people like that. Dude,
Uruguay scored 2 goals in a minute, and he recovered and got them that draw. I mean, this, like you said, this is why we watch it. It's been beautiful footy, and it's been awesome because there's a lot of teams that have emerged.
Oh yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Where am I at? H, I. I don't know. Maybe this is the coin toss. You can help me. So they're tied in goals currently. Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland.
That's a really tough one. I mean, you're gonna have to put tie because I don't want to pick one over the other because if they play each other, that's gonna be a good match head to head. France probably ends up winning that game, but in terms of head to head, like, man, they're the same strength. Like they're just the best players in the entire thing that isn't named Messi or Ronaldo. Like. I think you got to tie. I can't see you give one of them over.
Yeah, I think right now I'm leaning Haaland because I like Haaland. I did not know the dude has a British accent. I thought when he talked and it was like like kind of a twinky little British accent. I was like, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna be like Ragnar Lothbrok or some shit like that. No, I'll give it to Holland because Norway hasn't ever done shit. Mm-hmm. So, and also we saw Mo Salah in Qatar kind of wither away. But when you're the star and you step on the World Cup stage for the first time, I've seen a lot of really great players fall apart. Erling Haaland has embraced the spotlight. Yeah. He has loved it.
He is really good.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's playing with Man City and doing all the shit and winning all the cups that they've won. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, Group J. Lionel Messi, obviously. Shout out FIFA for giving him 3 dog shit teams to bully.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't even know who's in it. Austria maybe come out second in that group. I mean, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty rough. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So Group K, I think that's Portugal. I'm going to go Ronaldo because it takes a special type of asshole to look into a camera and say, I'm back twice when you beat up Uzbekistan.
And you're 40 years old.
And you're 40 years old. Go fuck yourself, Ronaldo.
Yeah. I'm back. I'm back. We waited.
You know what that was?
You're too late now.
That was Cam Newton getting a rushing touchdown against a 2-win Cardinal team.
Yeah. in week 2.
And week 2
Yeah.
and being like, I'm back. It's like, dude, you just fucking
Ridiculous.
you just
Yeah.
scored. You beat Uzbekistan 5-0. Fuck
Yeah.
you, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't talk shit now after you got embarrassed by
they
fucking
were like,
Congo.
oh my God, it's Ronaldo. Holy shit, we're playing against Ronaldo.
And then, like, the coolest part of that was the trick shot. Everyone was like, holy shit, what a crazy trick shot. It was cool. But again, you did it against Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
Like, if
Do it
this was a
again.
UFC,
Yeah, do it again.
you know what? Beat these guys in a UFC fight. And
Yeah, true.
beat these guys in a fucking boxing match, and I'll be. Wait, that's not you? That's Kazakhstan. I'm fucking racist.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know fighting. So
I know.
it's
I don't know. No,
I
I knew one of the stands was really good at UFC. Okay. So and then
I'm interested
I think
who you choose for Group L here.
I put Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. Okay. I thought you were gonna
And
go
you know
a
why?
wilder route, but sure, I'll go here.
I know he's on currently playing for Bayern Munich, but he'll always be glory, Tottenham
My choice would
Hotspur.
be the Ghana witch doctor.
Oh fuck yeah! That's spooky to me.
MVP,
And you know what?
man? And he lifted the curse. He's like, we're done now. That's a good guy. He knows what he knows what he's doing. He knows the power of.
That's unfair.
Yeah,
That's
that is
unfair.
Yeah.
Look, if you're a black person in the States, preferably Louisiana, and you know someone who is into voodoo, we need you. If the U.S. plays Ghana, we need you. Marie Laveau, where her ancestors, we need you.
Who is that lady? Long Island Medium. Bring her on.
Bloody Mary, like the lady that lives down there in New Orleans. We need you because it always happens. You know, at some point we're going to have to play Ghana. For some reason,
Yeah, I know it does.
That small little African nation is somehow our fucking rival. So
Yeah.
it
is crazy. Since I've been a kid, I've always remembered these games between USA and Ghana. Always.
Well, and so that's tough because she did curse Harry Kane, but Harry Kane did have a really crazy game against Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they kind of dropped the ball a little bit against Ghana, but they beat a good Croatian team 4-2. Mo Salah, shout out to Mo Salah in Egypt. That's been a really fun. I know Belgium's been absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Mo Salah has, to kind of come and be the hero, to lift the Egyptian side up when they needed him. Scoring, I think, what was that? Was that their first World Cup win? I mean, to kind of tell people, Egypt has been an African nation soccer league giant. They've won that a ton, but when they've gotten to like bigger stages, they've gotten the shit kicked out of them.
They still feel like a newborn baby. Yeah, they still just don't know. They don't have the experience.
Yeah, they've bullied Iran. They bullied Afghanistan, Iraq. They bullied all these teams. They've been really, really good. They've always had super talented players. They always fall apart on the world stage. So Mo Salah, and that's including the last year, or the 2022 in Qatar, where Mo Salah just was a non-factor, and Egypt lost a bunch and they just kind of fell out of the group stages. We're on a trajectory it's a trajectory to be U.S. and Egypt. That will be a great game. I will need the U.S. to win that game, obviously, but I think those are my MVP so far of the knockout stages. Look, we've talked about this. I think FIFA has kind of rigged this a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, you look at Argentina. You look at the way France is playing. Portugal is an extremely hard schedule.
Yeah, and is it England's in a kind of a group of death, and then you just miraculously have Mbappe versus Holland?
Mm-hmm. I know.
I mean, come on. This is playing out the way they wanted.
When is that game
Mexico.
happening?
Saturday. I think it's Saturday. Because Canada plays, the first knockout stage game is Sunday. Canada plays South Africa. South Africa. That would be crazy.
Yeah, tell me a little bit heading into this next round here, because we are approaching an hour. I do have a closing discussion for you, but I want to talk a little bit. Not all the teams have been in it yet. Like I said, we only have 12 teams that have currently qualified for the next round. A lot of teams know who they're going to be playing next. But tell me anything that you know that you're looking forward to, or something kind of interesting heading into this round of 32.
Heading into the round of 32, I think I'm looking for upsets. I'm
Okay.
headhunting for upsets. So I don't know who the matchups are going to be, but I could say the teams I think that are susceptible to being upset. Obviously, unfortunately, kills me to say it. You got to put them in there because they are the Americans. We're always susceptible to heartbreak. So I would put the U.S. in there. I would put Belgium in there, but then again, Belgium's going to be playing down. They're going to be playing from a 2 seed. They might even have to play a 1 seed. I haven't officially checked that yet. But I'm going to say I'm looking for the upsets. I think we talked about this earlier. Germany is a team I think that has high upset. There's a lot of upset chance there.
And this is coming after their loss to Ecuador. We just watched that 4 hours ago. That was one of my favorite games of the entire year so far, just because Ecuador, they really put belt to ass in the last 45 minutes. Like they were playing a different type of football.
You said
took
this.
Germany soccer and they started playing it. It looked awesome.
You said they have one of the highest shot numbers in the World Cup right now.
Yeah, they've averaged almost 10 a game, dude.
Some people thought Ecuador could have won the group. I mean, if people haven't watched it, Ecuador they've kind of given.
We did have
in
them,
terms
yeah.
of.
We had them advancing.
Oh, we had them winning.
We had them advancing runner-up.
Yeah, they've bullied, and I won't say bully, but they've been of the teams in that group. I think I not the CONCACAF. What's the CONMEBOL or whatever the fuck it is. They've been the biggest problem for Argentina. Ecuador, they're loaded. Them and Colombia are probably the most loaded South American teams, aside from the normal giants of Brazil and what's her name, Argentina. But no, I think Ecuador could do some damage as a 3 seed. That is the 3 seed I would not want to play. Another 3 seed I wouldn't want to play. I know they played like shit in Mexico. South Korea, I've said this, they still have a lot of talent. They're going to be playing angry from a 3 seed. I would not want to play them either. I think they're a little disappointed, but the star power is still there, man. So I think that I'm looking for upsets. I'm upset hunting, of course. I need Egypt to hang on. Although, you know what? Fuck it. No. Give us Belgium. I don't give a fuck.
You want to go back to Belgium? You want to take that on?
You know what?
In home field? Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be.
They're due.
Okay.
Like, Belgium has beat our ass the last couple times we played them. And you know what? I'm not fucking afraid of Belgium.
Okay.
Give us Belgium.
I wouldn't be afraid either. I mean, Iran played pretty fucking well against them, dude. I was impressed with Iran.
Yeah. So did who was it? Egypt played them. Did Egypt play them?
I think it was
Egypt
Iran.
played them.
It was.
They drew
Iran on Sunday. Iran Belgium.
Yeah, and Egypt tied them in the first game 1-1. Yeah. Iran, I don't know how Iran came out of there without giving up a goal. What was it, like 83% possession battle? And then I've talked about this ad nauseum with you. Mexico and England in Mexico City. That has all the billings of a disaster. Mexico's playing for their desired 5th win of a World Cup. You said it your best. They're rolling. That is going to be a crazy crowd. Harry Kane and company are going to be going into Mexico City to try to play spoiler. Coming from the East Coast.
That might be crazy, dude. That might actually be just nuts.
That's going to be the most. That's going to be the most nuts game we've ever seen. And I mean, England. If England can win that in hostile territory, they might be able to go on and win it all.
That city might burn down if England marches in and wins 1-0. You know what I mean? Like,
or they win in a penalty shootout.
Yeah, they win.
Dude, if Mexico beats England in a PK,
yeah,
holy shit. Like you said, Mexico's fucking rolling right now. So England's got a lot. They got a lot to play for. And I think right now we are on a trajectory to get U.S. and Argentina. I think that's what we're heading into.
Soon. It's the same way that you were mentioning Germany will sooner or later see France, right? So it's like, it's not 100%, but trajectory. Before we've been guessing, and a lot of the guesses have been correct. So
and España and Netherlands, and the winner of that would play France.
That'd be pretty interesting.
That'd be interesting.
That would be some shit. Well, Danny, do you have anything else you want to mention on this round of 32? Anything else about soccer?
No.
Have you had a game that you've been
gonna...
disappointed in, or a game that you've loved the most watching?
Yeah, no, I've been kind of disappointed with the entire quality of the tournament. The other thing too, I think it's been far too long. It feels like the World Cup's been going on for about the better portion of 3 months now. I'm ready for the knockouts.
Yeah,
I was ready for the knockouts before
the. I'm ready for no ties.
Yeah, we kind of got. I think it's because we got kind of sloppy there in the second go around. We got some 5-0, some lopsided scores. And Messi's bullied Algeria and a bunch of small nations. So, I think that I plead FIFA to look at it and say maybe we should dial it back to a smaller World Cup, because I think the quality has gone down quite a bit. And the one thing that when you see teams that aren't that great explode we'll have to see if it happens in the knockouts, right? Because like if teams like Canada go into the knockouts, teams like the Americans go into the knockouts, all these teams that have kind of overperformed and are getting through to the group stage or the knockout stages for the first time, if they all go in there and they get their butts fucking kicked, if they get smoked immediately, and we just took a longer path to get to Spain, France, Netherlands, Argentina, and Brazil, like if that's what happens, dial it back, right? Yeah. We don't need Jordan. We don't need New Zealand. We don't need dial it the fuck back, because
it's a lot. It's like March Madness, where it's like a lot of the games that we were dreaming of we didn't get because there were just a few upsets, and because of that awesome upset that was a game that no one expected because they didn't watch it, ends up getting shit faced by the star that was supposed to play the other big team. You know what I mean? Like that happens all the time. So I'm just hoping that we do get some better momentum. Footy heading into this next round, like close games that are actually tough.
You just get you just get fatigued, right? Like when you have a day that this is the game I'm circling, fuck Netherlands and Japan, which I think is the best game of the knockout stage or the group stages.
I agree.
You're fuck yeah, Netherlands, Japan. That's a fucking awesome game. But to get there, you got to see Sweden score 5 goals against Tunisia, and you have to see Jordan play fucking Algeria. Who the fuck cares? And you have to see all these fucking games that are complete absolute dog shit to get to the one game you're looking for. After 2.5 weeks of it, fatigue. It's just. And you know what the worst part about it too was? I think that the big main storylines gets kind of inflated. It kind of gets less serious because the main storylines like Spain getting a draw, Portugal getting a draw, you kind of find out that's because they treated that first game like a preseason exhibition.
Yeah. Warming up.
And that kind of takes away the heat, that kind of takes away the excitement of it. So I don't know, man. Like I said, if this was just a really long, elaborate way to get to the same fucking final 8 teams, then let's all get together and let's dial it back.
All right. I mean, the last thing we probably cover is just that the USA game is coming up in the next half hour. Before the game starts, give me just a little prediction, and then we'll go into our closing discussion. What do you think happens tonight?
We're sitting a lot of players, so I could see Turkey beating us. But I think we still got enough good players that we can make it interesting. I'm going to be looking for man of the match. I think it's going to be Gio Reyna. Okay. I think we still have enough guys to get it done. So I think this is really good that we're going to be able to get some guys out there to get some exposure.
Yeah.
And work out some fresh legs. Some of the guys that come off the bench usually. So I think that's going to be really good. So I'm going to go USA 1-0.
Okay, perfect. Actually, on my bracket pool that I did, I also had 1-0 USA. Because they won 2-0 the last 2 games, so I'm like, let's give it, I guess the first game not, but. All right, closing discussion. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We're going to head back to some NBA talk, because I think there's still a question that I like to ask you, especially about the draft. I don't think I'll be asking this every single year after the draft, but I just feel like this year is kind of an interesting point to close with. Danny, who will be remembered as the best player from this draft 5 years from now, and why will it not be the number 1 pick?
Well, because it's Darren Peterson.
Darren Peterson, the number 2 pick, you think is going to be the best player coming out of this draft. Do you think that's because of team fit or because of just player overall skill?
Both. I thought Darren Peterson was the best player coming out the draft.
Okay.
I think he's the most skilled. I mean, his motivation and his injury history, like, don't get me wrong. The one thing that AJ has over him is motivation. AJ's a dog. He goes to play, and he's going to be just fine in Washington. I think that's why Washington brought him in there, is because he's a winner. But Darren Peterson's a really good player, and he's going to a team that has developed a lot of really good young talent, and I think could be sneaky good this year, and that's the Utah Jazz. I think he fits well with them. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder now.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel that too. I feel
a little bit. Look, I know a lot of people are going to jump all over him, so I'm not going to jump all over him. I think it might be a little bit of a slow process for Caden Boozer. I'm going to tell Memphis fans, be patient, but I think it's going to be a hard acclimation. This kid's won at every place he's been, and he's going to be going to a team that probably is going to win maybe 20 games this year.
Likely.
They're going to be playing. Yeah, they're going to be playing a lot of bad basketball this year. They're a developing team. He might. I don't think he's going to be the star that people think he's going to be or promoted him to be right away. I do think at some point Boozer will be just fine. He'll be a great player, just like
he's a 2010 guy. He's going to be a 2010 guy, and that's you can't find that everywhere.
2010, yeah. Caleb will be close. I think Caleb will be close because I think the Bulls are already starting to make him that guy.
That's what I was going to ask you. I said I was going to, if you could give me a wild card, if you had to come up with an argument for a player that's in the top 10 that isn't Peterson or AJ, try to make that argument for me.
I think it's Caleb. I mean, you said not in the top 5, you said?
I guess just not either Peterson or AJ, which were the 2 players that was debating for the number 1.
So I don't want to sound like a homer and be like, it's going to be Caleb. I told you, we've been saying this. I thought Caleb's going to be a guy who's going to be scoring over 21 points a game, averaging close to 10 rebounds a game. He is going to be the catalyst of this team. He's such a dynamic player. I think he's going to fit just fine. He's going to be he's going to be our big player going forward. If Mata stays, that's up to him. He's got to really develop a little bit more here and grow and score a little bit more than 14 points a game. I think Caleb's going to be really good. I think Keaton Wagler could be the next James Harden.
There's a name. Yeah, there's a name that I didn't think about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think him going to the Clippers is a really, really good place. They have a good base. Plus, they have a commitment to younger players. When I watch Keaton Wagler play, he reminds me a lot of a young James Harden. And I see a lot of that. So I think he could come in and develop and be exactly what James Harden was giving them. Although just not as stubborn. You could still teach him a little bit of a defensive game. Do I think he's going to be the best guy out of the top 5? If I had to go out of the top 5, because Keaton Wagler's still in the top 5. If I had to go out of the top 5, I'd say, this is a name you probably haven't heard. I think Kingston Flemings is going to be a good player for the Hawks.
Heading into Atlanta. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, look, the Atlanta has a lot of really good young players. They've developed their young talent to contribute to that team. They also have a lot of really high, like similar to the Bulls because we got the same guy. They got a lot of long, big guys that play with a lot of great defense, which is basically where he's coming from, Houston. That's a very similar mentality, a good defensive team. I think Kingston's going to fit into that program
very well coached.
I think he's going to be
that's what I like about Kingston Flemings that people didn't mention is that Houston coach he's very well coached. He's very well passionate defensively, and he's going to be a pretty good fit on that team. Whether he comes off the bench or not, we'll see. They're also a pretty tall lineup, but I like that pick. I actually was not thinking about Kingston. I think I like that wild card pick from you.
Yeah, and I also like something that no one's talking about at number 30, This guy was a lottery pick at one point. I think Koa Pete going to Phoenix is a great fit for him.
Yeah.
He's not traveling far. Look, he needs to develop an offensive game. He never found it at Arizona. He had a very up and down season. At times he was great, and at times he looked like he was like the next big thing. But at other times he kind of floundered. I think Phoenix will get the most out of him.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to benefit having a guy with that defensive acumen as Koa Pete. I think that's a great fit for him. I'm glad he went in the first round. I think he's going to be great for the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a very underrated pick because I remember watching him during the March Madness, and he wasn't great, but he was always in those mock drafts, always in the top 10. So to see him fall all the way to 30, pretty interesting. But Danny,
yeah, and I didn't like the other players in front of him. I thought Alex Caravan going to Sacramento, just like Acuff. I really don't trust Sacramento with those two guys. I think Alex Caravan at best is just a replacement for Domantas Sabonis. And Acuff worries me because you have him, DeMar, and Zach, and all three guys need the ball in their hands to be effective. And they're going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to figure that out. If Sacramento wants to make Darius Acuff work, they need to get rid of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. Very
simple.
Well said, D. But I appreciate you joining me here for episode 17. I've had a really good time. It's really nice to see your cute face. It's really nice to see your jersey. He's repping the jersey, and good
Cubs
luck to
are
USA. Yeah, Cubbies had a pretty electric game yesterday against the Mets.
Pete Crow Armstrong, like he's on an MVP type of run. Dansby Swanson drove in. Dansby Swanson does Dansby Swanson shit. I stand by it. I don't give a fuck that he had 15 RBIs in 3 games. Mallory Swanson, if you could play shortstop, we are hiring. Dansby Swanson's dog shit just because he's good for fucking 3 days of the year of the entire year after playing some of the worst baseball I've ever seen. Fuck off with all that shit. Frank the Tank might die because literally last night was one of the craziest freakouts, and again the Cubs 3 runs are off of 3 errors by the Mets again, and the Mets just traded the Cubs David Peterson. If David Peterson ends up having a good season, if he ends up putting it together with the Cubs and getting back into his 2024 form, Frank the Tank might have a absolute complete.
Yeah, I know. Interesting stuff. But heading out to next week, we're gonna talk some round of 32 heading into next week.
Some footy.
NBA is gonna be over. Football, there's not much going on, so it might be a full hour of footy.
Yeah, well, we're going to have free agency. That starts next Tuesday, so we'll have some free agent moves to talk about. Hopefully we can pick up Puck Talk next week. Hopefully the Hawks have made another addition. There's a lot of people thinking they're going to also trade the 18th overall pick tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Is that tonight or is that this weekend? I don't know. But there's the Hawks are making moves, and I would love to talk Blackhawks hockey on this podcast. We just haven't had any reason. We haven't had any reason to do so.
We will get into that most definitely.
Yeah, and another thing I just wanted to mention. How about the NFC North, baby? Terry and Arnold.
Yeah, Terry and Arnold. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting storyline. For those who haven't heard, he's facing life in prison, which is the max sentence for what he did. He pretty much did kidnapping, and he was a very underrated quarterback. He played really well in the 2 seasons he had in Detroit. Got a very big contract extension. Likely seen his last snap. Likely.
Let me just rephrase, because I did something really gross there for a second. I cheered on when you said kidnap.
You did.
I don't condone.
You
I don't condone kidnapping. However, I am a big fan of when really good players play for my hated rivals and they end up in prison. So,
especially on defense. Especially on defense.
It's a sad thing to happen. It's a sad thing to happen, but you know what? A secondary on Detroit falling apart just makes me.
But what are we gonna say? He did something really, really fucking bad. He didn't
He's a piece of shit. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
DUI accident. It's like no, he did something really we're allowed to kind of hate him. Everyone's allowed to hate him.
I could say he's a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll even go as far as this.
Let's hear it.
I'll even go as far as this. Packers running back. What's his name
Josh
again?
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Piece of shit.
Also piece of shit. Major piece of shit.
Don't beat women. Don't beat women.
And don't kidnap people.
And don't kidnap people. Two
That's
pieces of shit.
In the NFL.
Hey, Addison Russell came out 11 years after the incident and said he didn't do shit. And he said he didn't do shit. If you have to wait 11 years to say you're innocent, that motherfucker's lying.
Yeah. True. Addison Russell.
That motherfucker's lying.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he won us a World Series. Look, when it happened, did I say, what did he do? What did she do to get hit? I might have said that. I was emotional at the time. But all I'm saying is, we're removed from it. Now I'm mad at Dansby Swanson. I could say Addison Russell definitely should have been out of the league.
Definitely should have been.
Dude beat his wife. Motherfucker's guilty.
Yep. So. Speaking of out of the league, our next episode should be out of this league. So definitely stay tuned in. Episode 18. Oh
shit. That's a cheesy ass fucking
episode 18,
out of this
buddy.
league.
Make sure to park on that motherfucking driveway.
We're getting to episode. We're getting close to our 20th episode.
Getting close to our 20th. I think for the big 20th, we're gonna do shirtless, right? That's what we agreed on. Shirtless 20th episode.
I'll do shirtless. I'll debut a new tattoo.
Let's do it.
Yeah, dude. I'll debut a fucking brand new tattoo. Look. If Jason Robertson comes to the Chicago Blackhawks, I will tattoo Jason Robertson on my chest right here.
Okay. Deal. You heard it here first. Episode 18. Everyone wind back to episode 18 to hear that deal. Episode 19 or 20, we'll figure it out. Thanks for stopping by, guys. On to next week.
Thanks for stopping by. On to next week. Later.